During a time of war, the Philistines had seized Bethlehem, and their army camped in the valley of Rephaim. David and his men took refuge in the stronghold of Adullam, a rocky cave that served as their shelter. One day, as David sat with his warriors, weighed down by the pressures of battle, he longed for the sweet, cool water from the well near Bethlehem's gate, a taste of home from his childhood. His longing was not a command, just a weary sigh. Yet 3 of his bravest warriors, who had stood by him in countless battles, heard his words and, driven by deep loyalty, were determined to fulfill their king's unspoken desire. These 3 mighty men were Jashobeam, Eleazar, and Shammah. They looked at one another, and without a word, they knew what had to be done. David's desire had become their mission. The well of Bethlehem was no ordinary well, and getting to it was no ordinary task. The city was heavily guarded by the Philistines, and approaching the well meant risking their lives. But for these warriors, no danger was too great if it meant honoring their king. Under the cover of night, the 3 warriors embarked on their dangerous mission. With the stealth of seasoned fighters, they slipped past enemy patrols and moved through the shadows. Their hearts pounded, but their determination never wavered. Every step brought them closer to fulfilling David's longing. As they drew near the city gate, the sound of Philistine soldiers filled the air. The guards were alert, watching for any sign of intruders. But the 3 warriors were undeterred. With unmatched skill and courage, they launched a surprise attack, cutting down the enemy forces that stood between them and the well. Swords clashed, arrows flew, and the night echoed with the sounds of battle. Against all odds, the 3 warriors fought their way to the well. Blood stained their hands, and their bodies bore the wounds of battle, but they had reached their goal. With hearts pounding and muscles aching, they drew water from the well of Bethlehem. They carefully filled a container, knowing that this was more than just water. It was a symbol of their devotion to their king. But their journey was far from over. The return was just as perilous. With the enemy still alert and on high alert, they had to fight their way back to David's stronghold. Every step was a battle. Every moment a test of their courage and loyalty. But these men were not ordinary warriors. They were men of valor, and they would not fail their king. At last they returned to Adullam, exhausted and wounded but victorious. They stood before David, presenting the water they had risked their lives to bring. Their faces showed pride, and their bodies bore the marks of their bravery. But what happened next surprised them. David took the water, gazing at it for a moment. He saw not just water, but the blood, sweat, and sacrifice of his warriors. To him, this was more than a gift, it was the price of their lives. David's heart was overwhelmed with emotion. He could not drink it. How could he drink something that had come at such a great cost? Lifting the water high, David poured it out on the ground as an offering to the Lord. "Far be it from me, Lord, to do this," he declared. "Is it not the blood of men who went at the risk of their lives?" The water, so precious and so costly, was given to God as a sacrifice. David's act was not one of rejection, but of deep reverence. He honored the devotion of his warriors by giving their sacrifice to the one who was truly worthy of it. The 3 warriors stood in awe as they watched David's act of worship. Their mission had not been in vain. Though the water was not consumed, their loyalty, courage, and love for their king had been lifted up before God as a fragrant offering. Their bravery was not forgotten. It was forever etched into the pages of history. And so, the story of these 3 mighty men who risked everything for a simple drink of water became a testament to unwavering loyalty, sacrificial love, and the recognition that some gifts are too precious to be kept for oneself.